Hello everybody and welcome back to 2vTuesdays with Geraldus and Foreign. Foreign is here, and he's going to say hi to you guys because he listens to what I say and to my input.
Hi guys, what's going on? It's Foreign.
Told you. Look at that. He's got like a fucking leash on that
I'm
kid.
like a puppet.
Anyway, what I want to discuss a little bit today in this video, Foreign, and I'm sure you've read the article, at least maybe skimmed through it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I'll put a link to this article down in the description below, but it has to deal with how apparently video game companies are kind of sort of going under recently, and that's rough for them, you know? Like, so they're turning to making board games.
Yeah, that's what it appears to be.
Kind of interesting.
Now, from what I read, it says that their numbers this year, as opposed to last year, are actually down. So video games aren't selling quite as well as they used to, but they're diving into a new market, which is the board game market, turning popular video games that people love to play into a board game that you can actually play with, you know, your actual friends, not just over the internet. And, I don't know, create a new experience with that same story and that same feel.
Yeah, because apparently EA, Electronic Arts, you know, they made the absolutely hit game that nobody could play, SimCity. Nobody played it, so people stopped buying it. I attribute a lot of the monetary loss to that game, pretty much. And they've had to lay off over 1,000 people, and apparently they're going to be laying off some more people if they don't get their shit together. So, well, I'm glad I don't work there. I probably would have been fired. I'm not a very good employee, so.
I wish I worked there, man.
That'd be sweet. But they've obviously there's been other games that have had board game type things before. World of Warcraft had them. There's like you can buy Angry Birds stuff. Things on the side, toys and whatnot, which is huge. The merchandising is a lot of a brand. If you make something that's easy to merchandise, you can do really well, and it'll pay off. It'll pay off in the end. You get all the mothers and the fathers buying the toys for the kids, and that sells a lot of them.
Yeah, just as a little side story to that, like take for instance Angry Birds, like you had said. You can go out and you can buy you can buy like little like throwable objects basically that you have a little slingshot and you can build your own little things. And like for somebody that maybe doesn't have an iPhone or has an iPhone and, you know, just as a kid likes to just fuck around with things, like that could be a whole like new thing. Like one, they're not on electronics, but two, they're still playing something that's electronic centric.
Familiar. It's familiar to them,
yeah.
Which is the big thing. That's the reason it sells.
And then they have all their stuffed animals that they sell. They sell Angry Birds candy. Angry Birds candy. Like they're going beyond the whole like just as a toy sort of thing, and they went into food.
They probably make as much money off of their merchandising as they do off of selling that game.
And all it was two guys that created this thing. Two guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's nuts what can be done. And speaking of what can be done, how would you picture Call of Duty in a board game? I'm curious.
Well, I don't think it would be a multiplayer type. I think it would probably end up being more like Risk. It wouldn't be anything like Call of Duty. I think it'd be like you're controlling troops, like an RTS type thing, like Risk or Axis and Allies, and you're going and trying to conquer the world or whatnot, or take out a bad guy. I think that's what it would be.
See, and I think that would actually be pretty fun if you took the game of Risk or Axis and Allies, which both of us play. We do play Axis and Allies. If you took that game and then basically put a different skin on it, put it slightly different rules, and you make it into a one-on-one or, you know, 4 different factions or whatever. And it's a war game. That's really all it is.
Yeah,
people
cool.
People killing people. So,
but
it'd be interesting.
Apparently, one of the big board games that'll be coming out later this year at a fairly high price point, Bioshock Infinite. They're making a Bioshock Infinite board game that isn't at all like the game. It follows the same story, but it's kind of like the same thing. It's like a top-down view. Like there's cards involved. I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna play because I don't know the rules. I don't have the game. The game's not out yet, or something. But it seems like it'll go kind of along the lines I just mentioned about the Call of Duty video, or the Call of Duty game, not video. God, I'm losing my mind. So I don't know. I think I think we need to make a board game. We need to make a 2vTuesdays board game.
That would be that would be interesting. It would have questions about burritos and I don't even know what else we've talked about. I mean, we're coming up on a year.
Yeah, we are.
So a board game would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, but the whole point of the game though would be to wake up at 11 and try and have the game finished by 3 o'clock, which never happens.
No, it never does.
Never, ever.
It never does.
That would be awesome. I would play the fuck out of that game. I play it every Tuesday.
Yeah, late.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all about all we got time for here in my video. Foreign's gonna be covering a different topic on his. I recommend you go check that out on youtube.com/theforeign.
See you guys there. Bye.